Back in the day, the best way to communicate on the cave walls back in that time frame was paintings, visual representation of communication. What happened over the years was, especially in business, communication became less visual and more about being efficient with the physical word, from writing to emails. And what interrupted this email flatlining that we saw happen in business was a rocket ship that was coming up. What was that rocket ship? Video. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. I'm Rob.
And I'm Ruben.
And today's video is about...
I got you.
Right, ready?
The paradigm shift to sales video messaging.
You sounded great.
Yeah. So why the shift?
You know, the shift really has a lot to do with three things that we've noticed here. One is trust. Two, lack of emotion. And three, the effectiveness of that communication. Trust, Ruben. Why do you feel trust is one of the number one reasons why there's been a shift from text-based communication, in particular email, and that rocket ship that is video?
Here's how I think about this. It is so easy to ignore someone's email message, someone's LinkedIn, a text message that you got from someone that's trying to pitch us, that's trying to sell us something. Why? Because there's no humanity there. There's no human being. It's just words. There's no etiquette in ignoring someone. Our parents and our teachers never said, hey, it's not proper to ignore people's emails, LinkedIn, and SMS message. What they taught us is that it's improper to ignore another person. And that is why video is so much more important to build trust. It's because people will actually look at you like you're a human being, not like you're a bot.
And when you're hiding behind that text-based communication, what you're effectively doing is hiding behind those letters that are there either on the page or in the email. When you send a video, it's so much more effective because you're communicating the way that humans were supposed to communicate, right? Supposed to communicate that
Visually.
way. Visualization is the biggest thing here. You don't get that with text. Now, also, when you use text-based communication, whether it's SMS or email, you have no emotion in there. Video creates that connection and emotion. That's something we've stated over and over. Why? Because it's an important nail to hammer, correct?
That's right. Okay.
Oh, what do you got there?
What about if a salesperson sends an email from their man cave? Does that count as a visual method?
What is it? Is it a painting? Is it a mural?
I know it's an email. They're writing an email.
Oh, they've done an email on the cave wall, but they're sending a video of it.
That's no. It's just an email from the man cave.
Oh, an email from the man cave. Yeah, it just doesn't have the same effect.
Got it.
You know why? Because you're leaving the visualization up to the person getting it when you can control the visualizing narrative. And in sales, it's all about controlling the narrative, isn't it?
Now, I know what you're thinking, that text is not a visual format. That's not what we're saying. When we read books or articles or blog posts, sometimes those are the most visual way that we can consume content because of our imagination. The problem is this, is that sales messaging typically does not elicit imagination. The key here is to present visuals to replace someone's imagination. Why? Because that's what's going to make an impact and make it emotional. And with that, you get trust.
The big thing to remember here is, are you using effective communication or affective communication? There's a big difference.
Well, it's simple. If you pitch, they ditch.
But if you connect, they expect.
That doesn't work.
What do you mean?
Expect doesn't work.
Wait, why? They'll be expecting something good. They'll be expecting.
You'll get it.
Okay, now that we understand the why of the paradigm shift, let's take a little rewind back, all right? Let's understand one of the main reasons the rocket ship of video and visualization took off was because of that flatlining of the email marketing. Why was it flatlining, Ruben?
So think about this for a second. Rob reminded us that we started out communicating visually on cave paintings and hieroglyphics. But where we ended up until recently, was just text-based messages. This is things that we read. And why is that? It's because of the lack of technology and lack of adoption. People in certain job titles decided to not use video. There were limiting beliefs. They believed that video needed to be produced, it needed to be put together by a department, there needed to be all sorts of production requirements in order to get it. And now is the time where sales messaging and video connects.
So one of the big things to remember here is that video in general, video communication is omnipresent, isn't it? It's all over our world. Social media, communication between friends, any kind of meaningful communication in this world currently is done by video. Why not sales? Why not business? Less than 3%, we'll probably say conservatively, are using video to make connection in business and sales. Why? It is the most effective way to communicate.
So what you're saying is that people have evolved, but the sales industry has not.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, I have worked with countless numbers of sales leaders, and I've heard it so often that we don't yet feel comfortable having our sales staff use video. And where does that fear come from? It comes from having concern of what goes in, the training, and what comes out, the content. And the fear here is that the messaging will be off-brand. Now, what we've learned is that your sales team is your biggest asset, and it's their personalities, the things that make them different, and their tenacity that makes you and your company differentiate itself. It's kind of like the exclamation point in an email. It doesn't mean much. It can be misconstrued 100 different ways. In video, there's clarity, but clarity requires personality.
And remember, there are different personalities, right? There are differences that make up such an extravaganza in terms of the kaleidoscope of your company. That's how you make an impact, is having differences. The sum of the parts makes up the whole.
Did you just say extravaganza of a kaleidoscope?
Yeah, I also said parts of the whole. Now let's talk about our favorite thing, which is mindset, but from a little bit of a different perspective. When you see an opportunity out there, what's the thing you always want to have happen? You want to have your eyes wide open. Now, you don't want to have the blinders on or the barn doors on. So what we're asking all the sales leaders out there and sales professionals, open up the barn doors. And we're going to show you 3 different clips of inspirational stories of Dubb users who have opened their barn doors.
First of all, I was sending them emails. Nobody was responding. I was sending them phone calls. Nobody was responding. So what I did is I got them Fire tablets and I got Dubb and I recorded videos, my video with Dubb. I then took the link and I put it into a file on the Fire tablet and I sent them the Fire tablet. And when he opened the Fire tablet, the Dubb video popped. It was a $3.4 million deal. And we closed it less than 30 days later after sending this out.
I made $350,000 from using my Dubb instead of sending a proposal, actually in harmony with sending a proposal. And there's a strategy to this. The strategy is I don't send a proposal and add a video. I send a video and add a proposal. And that is so unorthodox. And I start out by saying, look, I have a boring proposal that's attached, but it's not quite self-explanatory. Let me explain what happens after you decide that I'm your guy. And it worked. 250,000 and 100,000. And this month will be 500,000. By making videos that are compelling, that are emotionally engaging, and that hit the customer in the head, the heart, and the wallet all at once. And all because I decided to take video to the next level.
I think the most incredible thing is that I've made and generated tens of thousands of dollars from videos that I recorded in one take with no makeup. Didn't think I was going to even make a video that day, made it, linked it, boom. And then realized, oh my gosh, people don't care for it to be pretty or perfect. They just want to know if you can help them, and then they want to take the next step.
In sales, a lot of what we've been taught is to persevere and to fight to get your elevator pitch. Now, the reality is that the more you fight to pitch, the more likely they are to ditch. The key here is to be tenacious, to be a listener, not to be a pitcher.
So remember, everyone out there, what you put out there is what you're going to get back.
And if you pitch, they ditch.
And if you just talk, they walk to you? They walk? Is that no?
Almost.
Ruben, I got a quiz for you. You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What are the 3 R's you get when you use video in the correct way with sales and marketing and you make that connection? What are the 3 R's that you should get?
Well, they're revenue, retention, and referrals.
Who just got an A? Huh?
Well, actually, who just got an R? Now, one of the things that we've all become is Zoom fatigued. We are exhausted of being in those teleconference meetings where we spend 30, 60, sometimes 90 minutes being with a group of people. Now, camaraderie is everything. The soul needs it. But at the same time, at some point, we need to focus on productivity. Now, there's 2 revelations that we can share with you. Number 1 is that people in sales often fight to get someone into a Zoom meeting, to get someone into a teleconference so that they can pitch them. If you pitch, they ditch. What if you had the confidence to replace that meeting with an asynchronous video, something that you can pre-record and send them preemptively, not as the ultimate deliverable, but rather the way to get them in, the way to get them to want to talk so that you can listen.
Because remember, that Zoom video call can also be your Zoom cell. It can be your Zoom prison. Once you're in there trapped with everybody else, let's just say you've got an important work task that all of a sudden comes up. There's an interruption. You can't stay in that meeting. Well, you can stay in the meeting, but you're going to lose whatever work assignment you just did. Or if you've got to take a break, you're going to lose the valuable content that was just in there. Now with asynchronous content sending in communication, right, you can consume the content, pause it, do what you need to do, come right back to it, and you don't lose a thing.
And another thing about efficiency of sending someone a pre-recorded video for your sales is that they will come to you in your meeting as a pre-framed prospect. They'll know about you, they'll know about your company, they'll know about the service that you provide. And with that, you get a qualified lead. Now that's what we talked about in one of our other videos, which is quantum selling. You're compressing the amount of time that it gets someone from learning about you to opening a business relationship.
You're creating the ultimate conversion environment. The great thing about sending an asynchronous piece of content via video is that it's like a trailer for your movie. It really gets them going, gets them interested, as long as your trailer doesn't show too much of the film, right?
In a world where Rob Botts wants more prospects and wants more closes, he should send video.
The sequel, Video Sent, Result Achieved.
So let's think about that for a second. There's a couple of problems with Zoom meetings and teleconference meetings for your sales pitches. Number one, they're not efficient. Number two, the logistics are challenging. You have to coordinate a time to get someone else there, to get yourself there. They might flake out on you. You might have to change your schedule. It's not easy. And one of the toughest things to do is to convert a phone call into a new client, because if they can't see it, they can't believe it.
And if they can't visualize it, they can't buy it.
So remember, if you pitch, they ditch.
And if you connect, they affect.
Nice. You got it.
Got it.
So here's our takeaways. This is a technological revolution, but it's also a mindset change. The tech is there. It's easy to use. In fact, we encourage you to go to dubb.com and get a free trial. The mindset takes a little bit more work. Now that becomes creating an environment of providing value, being empathetic, opening up your eyes, ears, and your heart. So ultimately, you can be a better listener, because a good listener is a good leader, and a good leader is a good growth driver.
Because remember, we are in a visual communication / connection revolution. Take advantage of it. So if you liked this video, you got to do a couple things. One, we want you to hit that like button. We want you to put something in the comments. Let us know what you feel. Put a Dubb video in the comments. We love that. And we would love it if you would
share this with a friend.
And subscribe to our channel if you really find the content valuable.
That too. Also, if you want to get a free trial to Dubb, go to dubb.com. It takes about a minute, and you will be sending videos from your screen, from your webcam, or from your phone within seconds, and you will be delighted to see the responses that you get. See you on the other side.
Hold on. You said not the plastic part, right? Like this, right?
Just show your face for a sec.
Huh? Oh, we filming right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
And Rob.
Yeah.
Thanks for the awesome gift, man.
Oh, hey.
Dad jokes.
You already had an extensive lineup of jokes, but I thought I'd just add to it.
All right, here we go. Last night, as I lay in bed, gazing up at the stars, I thought, wait. Sorry. That's the punchline.
Is that good?
That was a hook. That was a hook.
Whew. I feel like that's all over the place.
That was awesome, man.
Thanks.